it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel, and today we are going to be doing a discussion. We don't know what we're going to discuss yet, but it's going to be generated by our random discussion generator. Generator. It does, it just generator. It needs to be said that way. So there are about 30 topics that are in there. We have done a few of them off here already, so we'll press the button. It will generate us a topic when we press stop, or it may generate us a black screen if it's in between the topics when we stop it. Either way, if it's one that we've already done, we will click again until we find one we haven't done, and that's what we will discuss.
Let's go.
Let's hit the generator. Let's go. You can go the honours on this one, Andy, when it's ready.
Yes!
No, we've done
done that one.
We have done that one. So we'll go again.
Go for it. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So the discussion topic is how important is a band's image? So this comes up. We've actually had this up when a band's image recently. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Bullet for My Valentine. So I guess, and then we've had bands that have played live where they just turn up in a jeans and t-shirt and go on stage, and you don't have any indication of what they're going to be. And we've had others. So we could answer it and say it's very important, and that could be the end of the discussion. But I guess the important reason is why. Why is a band's image important? And is it more important in one genre than it is in another? Because grindcore, how important is your image in there? Because it's not really. If you actually looked really pretty and nice in grindcore, you probably wouldn't get the fan following that you would if you're an ugly fucker.
People would hate you if you're good looking.
If you look
the crime of being good looking and playing grindcore, what are you doing playing
if
that
it
genre
looks,
of music?
you have to look like you've been in the pit for a couple of weeks and just had the shit
trapped
kicked
in
out
the
of you,
mine.
and you've just been healed with all your scars on, and then you're allowed to go on stage and play. That's kind of what grindcore bands look like.
And it helps if you go on in football shorts as well, with a underground death metal band t-shirt. I think in the 90s that was the grindcore look, wasn't it? Aston Villa shorts and like a fucking Repulsion t-shirt.
That's Bardi Greenway.
That's Bardi Greenway, yeah. But the Aston Villa thing could easily be Stephen Harris from Iron Maiden.
West Ham.
So you could go through that. But I guess if we were to talk about, from our personal opinions, how much does a band's image decide whether you want to check them out?
I think it's a really broad subject, this one.
Yeah.
And certain genres, I think you've got to comply and have a band image to actually fit in that genre. The one I'm thinking off the top of my head is black metal.
Yeah.
You know,
corpse paint and shit.
You got to have corpse paint. It's got to be black. It's got to be, low res photographs in a wood.
Dark Throne, you're thinking?
In the snow. Yeah. So there's certain genres where it is very, very important, and you've got to achieve it to participate in that genre. Others, it's not as important, because as we discussed, you could see a band on stage and they've got like jeans and a band t-shirt, and they're all different. And
no, because that to me, if I see a band's in jeans t-shirt, I'm thinking you're either going to be thrash or you're going to be death metal or something like that. Or grunge. And also band photos, so bands picture photos. So we could do a band photo.
I think it's more encapsulating and spread across the genres than you've just described. I think a lot of people, unless you're in a genre like black metal, where it's almost compulsory, I think that sort of look can cover so many different genres. But then that makes the bands who have a stage look or a theme, perhaps stand out and capture attention a bit more. They've obviously worked on it and come up with an idea. But then I've also said before, if you've got to rely on a gimmick or a band look, then is that distraction from your talent and your music that you're producing? So
it's a catch-22 that way, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because if I see a picture of a band that are playing, so we get sent band pictures all the time from gigs at the Corn Exchange and stuff like that, and the bands will all be in their jeans t-shirt. They'll be standing on a stairwell or something, and two of them will be like that, looking at it, and the other one will be looking off in the distance somewhere there in their band picture. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're interested in. And at this point, has that picture in your band name maybe go, yeah, I want to check out a bit maybe what they sound like. Usually, no. So I don't even bother. But on the flip side, I have never checked out Ghost. I've heard a little. Yeah. Actually, no, sorry, no, that's a lie. I have checked out one song from Ghost on the Dave Does channel. Check it out. historically a few years ago, but there is no everything about Ghost, the imagery, the setup of it makes me go, I'm gonna fucking hate that.
Well, the look tells me that I should like this band.
Yeah.
I've never heard a note of Ghost because I know from reading stuff and hearing stuff that they're nothing like the image they portray.
Yeah.
I mean, that is almost black metal. It's almost it's an
the
evil,
image.
Anti-Christian
Yeah.
look of the
Verse T,
yeah, it looks black metal, but I think it's as far away from black metal you can get.
It basically sounds like a cross between Black Sabbath, Queen, and ABBA. That is no joke.
And I'd probably like that, but I fucking hate the image.
Yeah, do you know what? This has come up before, hasn't it? We like to, especially in heavy forms of music, real music as we call it, underground metal. we don't like this idea that image is important, that there are bands with gimmicks. There are. I think we can admit that. Grindcore, even that's an image, isn't it? They look like they've done a 12-hour shift down the pit.
Yeah.
Even hardcore. I remember watching a Rob Flynn interview, and he was talking about, as a metalhead, he would go to hardcore shows in the 80s. If you went to one of those shows with long hair, you would get beaten up. So they wanted to make sure there was no image, and then that became an image. Same with Pearl Jam in the 90s. Oh, these grunge bands. Yeah, well, maybe not with them. These grunge bands, they're all confrontational. They don't want to play by the rules of the industry. They all look like lumberjacks. In the case of Pearl Jam, that actually became their image, non-conformists.
So
that was their image in the end, 5 against 1.
So what about, though, because one of the reasons this came up was we've had a load of comments on one of the videos we did. We talked about Liliac and we did the song Rise Up. And one of the things was it was just we didn't quite understand what was going on with the band. If you go through different photos of the band, they're all different images all the time. You really don't get a continuity of the band. And we're not saying that you have to wear the same stage clothes for 20 years. You are allowed to evolve and change, but that's the key bit, is to evolve, not to constantly change and jump, because it's very confusing to know what you're getting into. And are you then, as a listener, going to commit to this band? And it is a commitment. When you get into a real band, you feel that you're part of that band, you feel that you're part of that family, you have a connection with that band, and you also feel a little bit betrayed when they go off and randomly start changing their thing. So a lot of people felt that way when Paradise Lost after Draconian Times went off in a random direction, and people were like, what the fuck are you doing?
They turned into Depeche Mode, didn't they?
So there is an element there, but also another good example of this is bands where the band members, there is no continuity within the band. And I'm going to use a local band as a reference point, because this stood out for me a couple of years ago when we did Metal to the Masses, and Silverhex is a great example of a continuity look within the band. So you've got Holly on vocals, who kind of came out looking like a Maria Brinks in This Moment style look. You had the guitarist at the time was wearing a kilt and a bit of a mohawk haircut. The other guitarist looked like a new metal guy, and the bass player looked like he was in a grunge band. And you looked at it and went, now since then they actually have uniformed their look up, but at the time I was watching it going, you all look like you're just on a random jam night. They've come on stage to pick up your instruments and jam. You don't feel like a cohesive unit as a band, and I'm not getting that vibe. Now they've definitely in the last couple of years have sorted that sort of stuff out, but for that night I was like, I don't know if you're a band or just a collective of 5 people on a stage. Which is one of the reasons why I think it is important. But whatever image you do pick as a band, you are going to alienate someone unless you can really work out an image that completely summarises your vocals or for your style. Rammstein, for me, works. Rammstein's image actually portrays what you get musically from them.
Yeah.
When you look at their pictures, you go, that actually explains a lot about your style. You're getting like that balance of industrial craft work vibe. There's that intensity, there's the metal elements, but there's also that militaristic vibe off of them. So they've got their image, they've honed it, and they've delivered it well. You get exactly what you see. And you get that with some of the new wave of British heavy metal guys, and you know that if the guys are going to come out in kind of studs and spikes on there, you kind of knew what that image was going to be and what that sound was going to be. I do find that a lot of the genres now, I really don't care. And I know people in the comments are going to go, it doesn't matter, it's just about the music. Well, here's my answer. Fuck off! Now,
yeah, I'm
sorry,
actually...
I'm just getting annoyed.
Do you know
I'm so annoyed at responding to those comments. Image is important.
I'm going to agree with you there. Image is very important.
He tells you to fuck off as well.
Let's look at it from a different angle, right? Let's use metal. If you're of that old school mindset where metal is outsiders music, but it's also edgy, rebellious, the type of anti-hero in a film, you know, the loner who can deal with his own introspection, but he never gives anything away, and then you know, he wears the leather jacket. So you get that, and people are into it for that reason, to be rebellious, and that's often why they stop listening to metal when they grow up. Those of us that like the musicianship, it's a lot different. My example, if people now say metal's boring, those people, you know, who I've just identified, because there's no image, there's no edge to it, they'll hear a band like Periphery, think, fucking hell, this is heavy music. They'll look at them and just think, nerds. Honestly, they will. And that will put them off. And the crime as well that Periphery have is a handsome singer. So when you get Periphery doing a song like Blood Eagle, and then you see him singing it, even if you've only listened to Napalm Death and Slayer and Repulsion and bands like that all your life, you're probably going to look at that and it's like, why is he singing in our music? This is our music. We're outsiders. And it's letting these normies in. Sorry, I'm using lexicon from the current generation. So it can actually alienate people if a band has no image and it doesn't match up to the music. So the opposite of Ghost, who do look like an extreme metal band. Sleep Token, you think, wow, are they going to be like a black metal band? They're not. They're writing R&B melodies. So it is important to have that. And I can think of very few bands and genres where it isn't important. And the one that I listen to, post metal or sludge metal, even that has an image. Middle-aged man, long beard, cargo shorts, t-shirt, look like you're going through a midlife crisis, your wife's divorced you or you've lost access to your kids, whatever, and this is the only thing you've got left. Sludge or post-metal, it's really intense music, but even that has an image, doesn't it?
Well, the fact is, images also have defined genres of metal.
Yeah.
So there's two bands that I can think of where a style of metal has been based on their image, has been defined, and musically you'd listen to it and go, well, it's just metal, or it sounds like it's death metal, or it's hardcore metal, or whatever. But you've got Ailstorm, pirate metal, and you've got Amon Amarth, Viking metal.
Yeah.
There's nothing. The metal, if you take it out, it's got nothing apart from they sing sort of songs that might relate to Vikings or something. But they've actually got cool Viking metal. But you look at Amon Amarth and go, yeah, big beards and fucking shave side, and you're like, yeah, okay, well, you look like Vikings, so that makes sense.
Doesn't matter what it sounds like.
Kariga, you could go, Viking metal, but they don't sound like it because they don't sing it. But you, from the look, you call it. But Amon Amarth apparently is Viking metal. Ailstorm is pirate metal. Those definitions of genres mean absolutely nothing.
Without the image.
Without the image, but the image has defined them and has actually made. What do you call Telescribe?
Yeah, I called it
Dickensian
metal, didn't I?
We didn't come up with that title
No.
because of our song
Music's
types.
not Dickensian metal, is it?
No, but we're playing.
the
We've got to
image
do
is.
that because of the image and the song type topics that we talk about, storytelling. You've come up with a genre for us that doesn't actually exist.
It doesn't describe the music, but it describes the
But
look,
it's
doesn't it?
the look,
because of the look of the band and the topics that we go through.
Yeah.
Which is where Amon Amarth and Ailstorm come through. Because of that, it's nothing to do with the style of music we're playing.
Can I ask a question?
Towards
in
them.
addition
They
to
ain't
this?
gonna fucking answer you.
So,
are they?
well, no, we've answered it. It's yes.
Okay.
So the spin-off from this is, to what extent can an image be too shallow? Because I think we agree, don't we? It's important. But what there seem to be certain bands that we've already mentioned: Sleep Token, Ghost, Butcher Babies. We're a band where it seems to all be about the image. It might not be, you know. So I'll apologise in advance because I don't listen to those three artists that we've just listed. I do know Sleep Token, but is that the issue really? That it can be all about the image and not the music? Marilyn Manson, for example, the music never lived up to the extremity of his image. That's what put me off in the end.
He sold more based on his image. Butcher Babies, for me, put me off completely checking him out because of Carla Harvey, and every single shot I ever saw was basically her big low cut tops, cleavage, and crotch right in your face with her doing the straddling positions. I'm like, there's no integrity to the music. Now, I have actually listened to some Butcher Babies since then because I was like, I need to do this to find out a bit more. Really loved the music. Really loved the song. I was like, her vocals were phenomenal. And I'm like, then why has every shot got to be of her crutch? I don't.
There's two of them, isn't there? And
there's two.
And a band name as well.
Heidi
Shepherd, that was it.
Neither of those. I mean, yeah, they're attractive women and everything, but it's not something I want to check out based on that. Butcher Babies, terrible band name, but like you, I might listen to them and think, take
they were
some,
phenomenal. I
take some good elements
absolutely
from
loved it, but I was like, you've put me off your band because you're. Now they can't control if that's the picture they do, but then going on stage and like freaking almost G strings and stuff, and you're like, but you've gone out there. Another band I haven't checked out because of the image I've seen in pictures is the Pretty Reckless. and Taylor Momsen, because
Yeah.
worse is she's wearing hardly any outfits. I'm like, if you're having to do that image to gain popularity, then you're.
I mean, she's like a
your
teenage
audience.
prodigy.
And also the fact that she was in The Grinch and she was the
Yeah.
little kid from The Grinch. That kind
That
of
answers the question, because she seems to appear on my Facebook timeline a lot, and I know the name, and she's instantly recognisable. I've no idea what connection she has with rock and metal, but then you just answer that
pretty
question.
reckless.
Pretty
Taylor
reckless.
Momsen. And these are the elements of, I think, sex appeal and stuff does have a place, and of course it will get people
Just
more
not in
interested.
metal music.
But
Well,
don't
it is
like
in metal
it.
music a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're just saying. I mean,
it
first of all,
seems to be, if that's
Males
what
and
you-
females. We were
if
talking
you
about that for
overly
my
push it.
Valentine, you know,
Yeah.
image.
It's all about the image, and there will be certain audiences that will go for it. But it just generally puts me off a band because it makes me think, if that's the angle you've had to push, your music isn't strong enough. But that you could say that they're doing really clever marketing by basically getting your music in front of more people by having these images. So I completely understand it. It's just one of the things that puts me off
Is-
the band.
is the
Check out
safest-
Sophie Lloyd, what's her face?
yeah, the guitar player.
Guitar player.
Is the safest thing to do now in metal, if you're a band over the age of 30, just look like a truck driver. Because I will gravitate towards your music. Because I was like, yeah, nothing shallow about these. Hey, they're even technical. They play progressive metal, brutal, and they look like truck drivers. That's fine by me. If they were 19-year-old kids, like you were put off by Trivium, the triangular haircuts, weren't you? You're like posers.
Yeah.
It put you off. And
That's
it shouldn't
fine.
do.
If they want to be good Charlotte, be good Charlotte. That's all bad. But if I'm talking about female bands, I don't ever see like Lizzie Hale going down that route. I don't see Amy Lee going down the like having to flaunt sexuality.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Tatiana doesn't do
They
it.
look sexy.
Courtney LaPlante
They look
doesn't do it.
attractive.
Yeah.
But they don't have to basically look like street hookers to sell your music. And that's where I kind of think, if you've got to look like a street hooker to push your music,
It would get my attention if you're
it gets
a
your
good-looking
attention,
woman
but it gets it
and
for the
you
wrong
do that.
reasons. If you're trying to be a musician, if you're adding one for the spank bank, then that's a completely different thing. And on that note, we will leave today's discussion. If you enjoyed our video today, if you enjoyed me telling you to go fuck yourselves, there you go. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.